to make this video. I got inspired. I'm not sure if anything is gonna happen. Feels like words want to come through. A sharing for my YouTube followers. I don't know exactly who you are, but I know a few, and I know I have some out there. It's been a long time since I made a video, so just wanted to say hello and kind of speak about maybe some things that have been going on, and my health, of course, because that's always the thing, and my spiritual journey, of course, because that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, all the health stuff that I've been through for 10 years, you know, taking me to my knees again and again and again, and softening something, opening something, cracking my heart open. It's easy to say now because I feel okay. I feel like I'm in more of an expanded state after the last round, but even the last round, so I'll get these episodes, you know, it's if you have EBV, chronic fatigue, things, you know, they tend to go in these cycles. And the cycle that happens with me is I just get like extreme fatigue, where I'm debilitated and I can't do anything. So, you know, and it sucks because there's no life force energy and no motivation, no direction. I could barely, you know, cook food. You know, I can get food cooked sometimes, and then doing dishes is a bit of a chore. You know, all the little things in life get really, really, I mean, it takes a lot just to make a meal and do some dishes. And in what a beautiful opportunity, because, you know, being stripped down to the bare essentials of survival and barely having enough energy to do the simple things makes me appreciate. Like today I made a meal in the Instapot. I made some khichdi, and I was able to share a bowl of it with a friend of ours, and I just felt really grateful because I had the energy to do that. And yeah, so, you know, when I do have energy, I'm super grateful because I've been stripped down to extreme fatigue so many times. And so it used to last weeks at a time, and the last round it was weeks at a time. I went into, you know, this was just before the Saturn Jupiter conjunction on the solstice, December 21st. I think about 2 months up to that point. And I know I'm not alone in this, you guys. That's, you know, maybe why I'm sharing is because everyone's been going through hell. And there's probably a lot of people out there that are gonna relate. But so yeah, up until this point, it was probably two month cycle, and you know, to the point where you're just like, why do I even continue? Like, I just want to end it. There's just nothing, no juice to really stay, and something always gets through it. And but this last round was something, it's just getting much more, more like, not blissful. I would not say I'm in bliss at this point when there's pain and, you know, fatigue in the body. But what it is, it's just a reverence. It's a passion, because when I'm taken out, there is nothing left but the longing for reality. And the pointing, you know, what reality is, you know, there's no more suffering in the body. And it's so, I mean, there's so much more to it than that, but who we really are is freed from identification with the body. And so it's not such a big deal when the body is tired. And the more we free our identification through the karmic emotional work, and for me it's happened through the fatigue. So I get taken out, then there's the nothing else to do, nowhere to go. I can sometimes barely listen to people talking. All I can do is listen to like angelic music or some satsangs, but sometimes I can't listen to anything. So it's more also, it's like a psychological thing. It's not just fatigue. And if it was just fatigue, gosh, I wouldn't be on this path. It's fatigue, and it's like this feeling the emotional pain of the child. Really is what it is. It's feeling all of the pain and all of the sadness and all of the confusion from being a child born into this world, feeling so open and so sensitive to everything, so connected, just we can't tell our mommy and daddy apart from us when we come in, and our hearts are wide open. And I'm just learning that my unique design as the character that I'm here to play is extremely sensitive, and not recognizing that because I have this manifestor overlay, this channel 4521, if you're into human design, and it's like this go get 'em, I'm gonna change the world, and I'm gonna, when things come, like any health stuff, and I'm into it, then it's like bam, everybody needs to do this. And so there's that forceful part of my personality, but underneath that, and the true, like, the body functions in a very subtle, sensitive, slower, splenic, moment to moment, feeling my way through life in that kind of way. And that's how I came in. But what was going on around me was just too intense. Like, it was just too out of frequency, or just the dissonance in the air, and not understanding, and also being so open emotionally that just took it in and took it on as mine, and couldn't tell the difference whether it was mine or theirs. But I took responsibility and felt guilty. Guilty. Do you know how many years of guilt that I have cried out? Woo, that's a big one. Yeah, everyone has guilt. Women especially have guilt when we step away from the world, or step out, stand back from the world a little bit, and start going within. I think guilt is I think it's one of the biggest ego trips to keep us living in the dream and not going inward, because we're upsetting those we love. What is that person going to think? How am I going to make money? How am I going to take care of myself and my family? The guilt is just, it's a big one. So all of those feelings came on, and as a child, I didn't know what to do with it. And this is pretty common. And that's how the ego was formed. And the layers around the heart just laid one on top of another, so I couldn't feel as much. And by the time I was 14, probably younger than that, I was numb. I was smoking pot. I was drinking every weekend. Yeah. And I knew something was off, but I had no clue. Yeah, so we get numbed down, And every episode that I have with this fatigue, it takes me into this place of being that little child that was so confused and so overwhelmed and didn't know how to be, felt like it was my responsibility to make everybody feel good, all of that. But there's no words in that space, in the space of really meeting the energy of what happened. There's not a lot of words, and rightly so, because when we're 6 months old, we don't have any words to explain or describe what's going on. It's just an energy, and that energy is coming out every time I get slammed by fatigue. That takes me into this place where I have to, there's no real choice. It does itself, because I'm willing and I want freedom more than anything. That's what I came here for. It's my destiny. So the more there's that passion, the more there's that willingness to just sit and receive it and feel it and go into it. And it's a process, and I'm learning how to do it more and more gracefully, if you will. But in the grace, it's like the divine feminine is coming forth in the ability to receive the depths of fragility and fear. Oh my God, so much fear. Oh, my little one, it was so scary, and when we're that small, everything is so big, and of course there's gonna be a lot of fear. So whenever I'm in, we're in this big winter house by a river right now in Mount Shasta. We moved in, and when I was there alone without my husband there, every sound, because it was a new house, every sound was like, there was just like, what, is someone coming in? Are there ghosts here? Like, I'm freaked out. There's some fear about ghosts, and so it built and built, and then, and then I had a big purge of fear. And right before that, I had a reading with Kim Gould. Her website is loveyourdesign.com. She's amazing. She combines human design and adds in the asteroids. It's like the missing piece of astrology, and human design is the asteroids. And because she explains that they represent the divine feminine stories, and they are what bridge us from the personal to the cultural story. And we all come from mythology, or the programs that we live come from an ancient mythology with the gods and the goddesses. So she gives these incredible readings where she is able to hone in on which asteroids are applicable and where they are in your human design chart, and then speak about the mythology of it and what it is specifically for you. So one of the things she told me was about my child asteroid. The child asteroid is in this gate of chaos, and it's in this root and sacral chakra. So the energy flows from the root chakra to the sacral chakra through a channel called the 360. It's right in the middle, and it's called the channel of mutation. And it's like this pulse of the program coming in and just, causing deep transformation and mutation. And often it's melancholic while the transformation is happening. There's like this contraction phase, and then boom, you come out of that, and then you're mutated on another level. There's more learning. So right now it's triggered, that 60 is triggered by another planet, so the whole channel is on. Anyway, so there's so much more work. The takeaway I got was there's so much more work, even though I've done a lot of work on the inner child and the innocence, there's so much more to come, and so much more, to really get to know, to really dive into that original place, the original self, my unique original self, which is what I just want to discover her again, because I forgot. It's just, I felt like I was ripped away from myself since I can even remember. And so I'm learning what was that original imprint. And, it's very different than who I thought I was. I'll say that. And she said, anytime, this is really good for anyone out there who's doing the spiritual work. And there's a lot of claims of like, oh, I'm feeling the collective sadness, I'm feeling the collective anger. We use this term collective, and I used to say that a lot because it felt like it. But what Kim redirected me to, and she said it in such a good way, and I'm going to paraphrase. She said, when we're saying, that I can feel the pain as a collective, it's a protective mechanism, because it's actually our own pain. It's the child's pain inside. And by saying it's the collective, we're not actually going all the way in to that place and getting the full potential of it. Really, it's like getting the juice from uncovering this place inside that is stuck in the past. Really, it's like our traumas as children, they just get stuck in our bodies, and that's why I'm fatigued, and that's why a lot of people are fatigued, is because there's so many layers of stuck emotion and stuff we haven't processed from our childhood and many, many lifetimes. We're all carrying around programs from other lifetimes where we died a horrible death, and the last thought in our head was, oh my God, I left my family and they're all dead. And then the guilt, bam, carries into the next lifetime. And so I think there was a bit of a feeling, because I've worked with my innocence and with Randy Hold, who's amazing, and quite a bit, and he helps connect us to the little child inside and to build a relationship so that she can speak what she needs, and the child can speak, and the child's language is very simple and sometimes no words. But going back to that place and feeling and talking with the child is so transformative. It's so powerful. And that's what Kim pointed me back to do again. Like, I had not gone and been talking to my little one, even though I was feeling all this pain. And I was kind of thinking it was the pain of the world right now. I was kind of deflecting it that way. And so when she said, that's what it was, I was like, oh my God. And then all this fear came up, all the fear that had been building up from the last few days of being in this big scary house by myself. It came out, and I, cried, screamed, and it's like so dramatic, I just let myself be as dramatic as I need to be, more and more, just like, let it all out. And sometimes there's dancing and shaking and, like demons coming out, like I go down to the river and just like, scream my demons into the river, feeling like, oh, Mother Nature, just take this, and I know you can handle it, because it's fucking intense darkness that feels like it's coming out of me. And then at the same time, there's just all this longing and prayerfulness, and that's why this process, and I cannot. What's happened now is such a deep surrender, much more surrender over the 10 years of just being cycled through into this dimension that's really difficult. I'm sure everyone can understand, or I don't know, but my own experience, that's what I'm speaking about. Just it's like a Neptunian Uranian dimension that's not fully in the 3D. It's like it when I'm in these places, it's everything logical shuts down, and so then the spiritual dimension can open, and so when these fatigue periods come, there's much more willingness. It's no fun to be in contraction, I'll tell you that, as we all know, but it's such a gift. It's such a gift, and then you just start feeling grateful for everything. Thank you for this life. One of the things I just read was called Sorrow Mountain, this beautiful book about a woman named Pachen. She was a spiritual Buddhist living in Tibet in a family where her father was the clan leader, and they had a lot of wealth and power, and she was wanting to be a monk. She was wanting to devote her life to just the prayer and finding God, but the Chinese came in to Tibet and just obliterated, murder. It started slowly, and so the story just takes you through her life as a child and how beautiful it was, and like all the Tibetan people are just so focused on not hurting another being and being kind to each other and working together, and it just was a beautiful culture and so peaceful and devoted, and it's just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to read about the Chinese invasion there and how ruthless they were and how evil, really. They were completely soulless, and as the world has been, not just the Chinese have done that, but so this is a story about her, and then she leads a rebellion with some of the people in our village. They go up into the mountains, they're running, and finally she's captured when she's almost to the Nepalese border. She gets put in a prison camp for 21 years, and she's tortured, and she's starved, and there's these huge chains put around her ankle, and it's just gnarly what the Chinese do to her, and you just won't believe it. Like, you're reading this horror, and then there's her, and she's praying, and every prayer she makes, because she had this background of practices with the Buddhist practice. She had spent time in a monastery, so a lot of her time there, she was just practicing the whole way through. She had this grounding in the Buddhist practice to get her through this. And so she's making these prayers, and every prayer she makes is for other people. And it's so beautiful, because she never prays like, may I be able to survive this? May I, please take my pain away. Like when she's just been beaten and she's in pain, and they put her in a dark place for a month, no light and hardly any food. Even then, she's like, may my suffering relieve the suffering of all beings on the planet. May my suffering help relieve the karma of others. And rather than praying for herself. So there's just something about that and the level of humility. Of course we're going to pray for ourselves. That's normal. I'm going to continue, but how beautiful to devote your suffering. Like, be like, oh, I'm taking this on, this is what I came here to do. And that's another attitude adjustment with the chronic disease and having it for so long and being on the spiritual path. The attitude adjustment becomes, this is what I came here to do. This receiving of this and transmuting this energy into light and love and finding God and just going home again. And in that longing to go home, then you're also agreeing to be ripped to shreds. But ultimately it's opening the heart, it's bringing more beauty, it's bringing more sense of freedom. And I'm just, right now it's like a lot of alone time, and I'm really connecting with just myself, like just hanging out with myself. And a lot of times I don't know what to do. There's no direction. Like today, other than cooking, then there was just no sense of what to do. And then the mind's like, we need to do something. But then just falling into that, and just, that feeling is very familiar. It's one of the programs that comes through. It's like having no direction. Just, it's the Open G Center, I think. Just, what do I do? And then usually, a lot of times it's just nothing. So I'm in this very sacred process right now of not having internet where I am. Just not talking to anyone, really, just really inward, just learning what home feels like. And just practicing, trying to stay present amidst all the the change that's happening all the time. And so I'm not listening to the news, I'm not exposing myself to very much in the world, and it feels so right, because all that does, after a few things, it's like the nervous system kicks in, and there's just wondering about a future that doesn't exist. And just always coming back to just trusting that, as usual, I'm going to be taken care of. That's another thing that I've had to let go of, working and having an income, and being able to survive in the world. Like, just, I've had to meet those places of fear that I'm gonna not survive. And so many times the beloved always takes care of me in some way. I've always been, just had enough to eat and had a roof over my head. Deep gratitude for that I wasn't ever put on the streets, or I never got, on the streets, because my mom helped out, and then I found the Sangha, and they supported me a little bit. And so that fear, the future, and what's gonna happen, and am I gonna be okay, like materially? I know I'm gonna be fine. Like, I want to have like beautiful surroundings, and I have more preferences now, and I know the kind of feeling I want to have when I'm somewhere like right here. I mean, it's beautiful, it's open, there's sunset, there's cows, you can hear the freeway, but it's kind of far away, and there's the mountain, and then we're back in this awesome valley. But so it's really good to just stay present, not worry about the future, just know that everything's gonna be fine. And so I just talked a lot about whatever. I mean, like, deep stuff, man. What else do I want to share? yeah, I'm just, I was doing a lot of satsang. So parasite cleanse is happening right now, and that's helping clear out my digestion. I'm learning about how to, because I do have more energy now, so I'm learning how to clean. And this is really funny because it sounds crazy, but I really never learned, because I was so disassociated and traumatized. And, trauma just, I didn't learn basic skills, basic cleaning skills, basic taking care of myself stuff, systems, organization, just day-to-day mundane stuff. But I'm now excited because I found this company called Norwex, and they make these cleaning products that don't have, all you do is use water, and they're antibacterial, so you don't have to use any product. And they have this silver anti-lock material in them, so it sanitizes better than alcohol wipes, and it's just water and this material. And they've got a mop system, and they've got a bathroom mitt, and it's pretty rad stuff. Check out my friend Pam Castillo, Norwex lady, and she'll hook you up. So yeah, that's happening. And there's just this desire to simplify. I know that a lot of people are feeling this, just down to the basics. What do I really need to be comfortable and happy, and decluttering, and just getting ready for this huge new chapter that many of us are feeling. Something new is coming, and it is. But there's this start, stop, the old feelings and the stuckiness in the past, and then there's excitement for what's coming, and planning and moving in that direction. Well, there you go. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just blabbing on, but look how pretty the clouds are. So gorgeous. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. I'm freezing. Much love to you on your journey home, and if you're still watching, then you must be really curious. And you must love me, and I love you. Bye.